USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier strike group has entered the Middle East region.
Talked to them a lot. They should have made a deal before we hit them with the nuclear, because that was a devastating hit.
The USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier strike group is now in the Middle East, according to the U.S. government, and any aggression will be met with full strength. A stance made clear on a billboard in the capital saying, in English, "If you sow the wind, you will reap the whirlwind."
A dozen F-15E Strike Eagles assigned to the 494th Fighter Squadron at RAF Lakenheath departed on January 18th, headed toward the Middle East, supported by KC-135 Stratotanker aerial refueling aircraft, according to flight tracking data. The Pentagon is rushing additional air power into the region as tensions with Iran reach their highest levels since last June's devastating 12-day war that saw American B-2 bombers strike Iranian nuclear facilities. U.S. Central Command confirmed the squadron's presence with an official photo posted on social media January 20th, showing an F-15E Strike Eagle landing at a base in the Middle East. The command stated, "The F-15's presence enhances combat readiness and promotes regional security and stability." But the timing and scale of the deployment tells a completely different story about what Washington is preparing. Share this with everyone you know, because open-source intelligence analysts assess that around 35 F-15 aircraft were positioned at Muwafaq Salti Air Base in eastern Jordan alongside heavy cargo aircraft traffic. That's not a routine deployment. That's a strike package positioning for major offensive operations. Before we break down exactly what happened and why this matters so much, please make sure you subscribe to Daily Military Talks. We're giving you the real analysis. The U.S. has used F-15Es during previous military engagements with Iran. In April 2024, F-15Es successfully blunted a large-scale Iranian drone and missile attack on Israel. Along with F-16s and U.S. allies, the F-15Es helped down over 80 drones. The American fighters that participated in that operation were primarily from the 494th Fighter Squadron, the same unit that deployed into the Middle East in recent days. The two-seat fighters carry a pilot and a weapons system officer and used AIM-9 Sidewinder and AIM-120 AMRAAM guided missiles to take down drones in that engagement. Multiple fighters even attempted to drop laser-guided bombs on the drones, showing the versatility of these aircraft in both air-to-air and air-to-ground roles. In addition to the F-15s, the U.S. military confirmed the Air Force F-15E Strike Eagle now has a presence in the region. Analysts who follow flight tracking data have noticed dozens of U.S. military cargo planes also heading to the region. The activity is similar to last year when the U.S. moved in air defense hardware, including a Patriot missile system, in anticipation of an Iranian counterattack following the bombing of 3 key nuclear sites. Think about what that means. Iran launched over a dozen missiles at Al Udeid Air Base, days after those strikes, showing Tehran will absolutely retaliate against American bases if Trump orders new attacks. The current buildup suggests Washington is preparing not just for strikes, but for the Iranian response that will inevitably follow. According to flight tracking data and senior U.S. officials, F-15 fighter jets arrived in Jordan on Sunday. On Tuesday, U.S. Central Command publicly acknowledged the movement and released a photo of an F-15 landing at one of its bases. Britain has also sent fighter jets to the region. According to the British Ministry of Defence, Typhoon aircraft have been deployed to Qatar as part of defensive preparations. Last week, there were reports of European military aircraft moving into the region, including British Typhoon jets coordinating with American forces. But here's the twist nobody saw coming. Flight tracking services documented dozens of U.S. Air Force aircraft departing from bases in the U.S. and U.K. heading east toward Middle Eastern deployment points. The aircraft involved include KC-135 Stratotankers and KC-46A Pegasus tankers, as well as C-17 Globemaster III and C-5M Galaxy transporters, which are typically used to move personnel equipment and special units. Flight tracking applications documented U.S. Air Force KC-135 aerial refueling aircraft flying eastward over the Atlantic Ocean toward the Middle East. The military news site The War Zone reported that C-17 transport aircraft were also spotted en route to the region. During Operation Midnight Hammer last June, in which B-2 bombers struck Iranian nuclear facilities, dozens of refueling aircraft took part. The tankers enabled the bombers to fly from their base in Missouri to Iran, a round trip of roughly 18,000 kilometers, and also refueled the fighter jets escorting them. The current surge of tankers and cargo aircraft suggests a similar large-scale operation may be imminent. Senior U.S. officials told the Wall Street Journal that additional air defense systems would be deployed to the region, including Patriot and THAAD batteries. The arrival of additional forces will give the U.S. more offensive options, American officials told the newspaper. According to reports, Israel conveyed concerns to Washington last week about its defensive capabilities should Iran attack after having used a significant portion of its interceptor stockpile during the war in June. This means Israel needs American air defense systems not just to protect U.S. bases, but to shield Israeli territory from the massive Iranian retaliation that will follow any new strikes. In the Persian Gulf itself, 2 U.S. destroyers with precision strike and air defense capabilities are currently operating along with 3 mine countermeasure ships, which could prove critical in the face of a potential Iranian threat to close the Strait of Hormuz. Those mine countermeasure ships aren't there by accident. They're preparing for Iran to mine the strait and choke off global oil supplies. The U.S. operates an extensive network of military bases across the Middle East. The most prominent is Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar, which hosts U.S. Central Command. The headquarters of the 5th Fleet is located in Bahrain, and Al Dhafra Air Base in the United Arab Emirates hosts some of the most advanced U.S. fighter aircraft. Additional bases are spread across Jordan, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, and Turkey. These bases could become targets if Iran decides to retaliate against a U.S. strike. According to Reuters, an Iranian official said last week that Tehran had made clear to countries in the region from Saudi Arabia to the United Arab Emirates that hosting American strike aircraft would make them legitimate targets for Iranian missiles. Then the situation took an even more dangerous turn. A senior Iranian official warned that Tehran would view any U.S. strike as total war. Speaking anonymously to Reuters, the official said, "This time we will treat any attack, limited, unlimited, surgical, kinetic, whatever they call it, as a total war against us, and we will respond in the harshest possible way." That statement represents a fundamental shift in Iranian messaging. Tehran is explicitly rejecting the concept of limited strikes or surgical operations. Any American military action will trigger maximum Iranian response across the entire region, targeting every U.S. base, every allied facility, every oil installation within range. The aircraft carrier USS Abraham Lincoln and 3 accompanying destroyers arrived in the Middle East, bringing renewed potential that Trump could opt to order airstrikes on Iran over its crackdown on protesters. The carrier, along with 3 destroyers, is currently deployed to the Middle East to promote regional security and stability, according to U.S. Central Command. The aircraft carrier hosts multiple squadrons of aircraft, including F-35 Lightning II fighter jets and F/A-18 Super Hornet fighter jets. Meanwhile, the destroyers bring with them hundreds of missiles, which could include dozens of Tomahawk land attack cruise missiles capable of striking targets deep inside Iran from ships positioned safely in the Indian Ocean. The Lincoln's F-35s have advanced sensors and radar evading capabilities. U.S. Air Force F-35s were used to suppress Iranian air defenses and escort the 7 B-2 Spirit bombers that participated in Operation Midnight Hammer. Israel has also used its own version of the jet, the F-35 Ayadir, to great effect in strikes around the region, and to degrade Iranian capabilities during the conflict last summer. The combination of F-15E Strike Eagles, F-35C stealth fighters, carrier-based F/A-18 Super Hornets, plus the aerial refueling and heavy transport aircraft creates an overwhelming strike package. The F-15Es provide heavy firepower and defensive counter-air. The F-35s penetrate air defenses and suppress Iranian radars and missile sites. The Super Hornets deliver precision strikes from the carrier. The tankers enable all of them to operate at maximum range. But the real shock came when intelligence analysts looked at the totality of forces being assembled. This isn't just a strike package. This is regime change capability. Trump has asked for plans that would lead to rapid collapse of the Iranian regime, according to sources. The administration's ultimate course of action remains undecided, but the arrival of additional forces gives the U.S. far more offensive options than a simple punitive strike. Think about what Washington is actually positioning. Dozens of strike fighters, a full carrier air wing, cruise missile destroyers, heavy transport bringing in Patriot and THAAD batteries, mine countermeasure ships. This is the force structure you assemble when you're preparing to destroy a government, not just bomb a few nuclear sites. Open-source intelligence sources reported a major redeployment of U.S. Air Force aircraft toward the Middle East, with dozens of air refueling tankers and heavy transport aircraft departing bases in the U.S. and U.K. No official comments have been issued by the U.S. Department of Defense, but the scale and speed of the deployment speaks volumes. The deployment mirrors movements seen before Operation Midnight Hammer when the U.S. struck Iranian nuclear facilities last June. But the current buildup is larger, involving more aircraft, more bases, and more coordinated Allied participation with British forces deploying alongside American assets. Iranian sources report heightened readiness of air defense systems in response to the American buildup. Iran knows what's coming. The only question is when Trump gives the order and how extensive the strikes will be. U.S. fighter jets are surging into the Middle East. Iran's air defense is on highest alert. Dozens of F-15E Strike Eagles positioned Jordan. British Typhoons deployed to Qatar. Carrier Air Wing includes F-35C stealth fighters. Destroyers armed with Tomahawk cruise missiles. Dozens of military cargo planes heading to region. KC-135 tankers, KC-46A, Pegasus C-17, Globemaster C-5M Galaxy transporting personnel equipment. Patriot and THAAD batteries being deployed. Mine countermeasure ships positioning Persian Gulf. Iranian official warned any strike treated as total war. Tehran will respond harshest possible way. Rejected concept of limited strike surgical operations. Every American attack triggers maximum Iranian response. Iran told regional countries hosting U.S. strike aircraft makes them legitimate targets. Saudi Arabia United Arab Emirates warned. Qatar hosts Al Udeid Air Base U.S. Central Command Headquarters. Bahrain hosts 5th Fleet. UAE Al Dhafra hosts advanced fighters. Israel conveyed concerns defensive capabilities after using interceptor stockpile June war. Needs American air defense systems shield territory Iranian retaliation. Patriot THAAD batteries protect both U.S. forces Israeli cities. 494th Fighter Squadron, same unit, downed 80 Iranian drones, April 2024, now deployed Middle East. Proven combat record against Iranian threats. AIM-9 Sidewinder, AM-120. AMRAAM missiles, laser-guided bombs. USS Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group, Indian Ocean. 3 destroyers, hundreds missiles, dozens Tomahawks. F-35C Lightning II, FA-18 Super Hornet squadrons, thousands additional service members. Trump asked for plans rapid collapse Iranian regime. This isn't just punitive strike, regime change capability. Force structure destroy government, not just bomb nuclear sites. Financial markets watching nervously. Oil prices rising. Allied nations urging restraint. Iran activating every air defense system. IRGC on highest alert. Missile forces dispersed hardened facilities. Everything indicates largest Middle East military operation since Iraq invasion 2003. Whether Trump orders strikes or buildup remains, deterrence depends on decisions by Washington, Tehran in the coming days. American strike fighters positioned within range Iranian targets. Tankers enable maximum operational reach. Transport aircraft delivering defensive systems. Mine countermeasure ships preparing straight Hormuz closure scenario. One thing is absolutely certain. U.S. fighter jets are surging into the Middle East in numbers not seen since Operation Midnight Hammer, while Iran's air defense network goes on highest alert, preparing for the devastating American blow that could reshape the entire region. The next 72 hours will determine everything. Our update continues. Stay tuned.